I'm doing my best to have this be the last video on the Air Jordan 1 High 85 Bred because I know you're tired of hearing about it. I know you are. It's everywhere. So again, I'm going to do my best just to share some final thoughts as we lead up to the release because it's officially February. Happy Black History Month. And we'll talk on a release that's on the way for this specific month that I actually want to applaud Nike for. I do have some concerns, not actually about Nike, but about like maybe the marketing behind the Bred versus maybe where it should be put. Again, let's just dive into this. And yeah, as you guys can see, listen, fresh little press. Okay, so I am feeling good. I am feeling good filming this on a Saturday. There's a lot going on. One, we survived January. It was the longest year of our lives, but we survived. I don't know how. So I need February to come in here, sit down, don't touch anything, have some sense, okay? And yes, it will be a celebration all month long. So I'm excited. There's a lot going on in women's basketball, whether it's jersey retirement. It's a little tough for me as a Aces fan right now, right? Like I have Asia's jersey retirement. I love it. Kelsey Plum is now with the Los Angeles Sparks, but we got Jewel Lloyd. So my emotions are all over the place. They really are. And free agency in itself is crazy. So if you are a fan of the WNBA, I know you were like, what is happening right now? Crazy. Craziest free agency I think I've ever experienced, and I don't think it's done. But yes, let's just dive into the actual sneaker discussion. So 85 Bred. It's the most played out conversation right now, but it's still worth having because, again, I think there are different angles with which we can approach discussing this now. Right now, where do we stand? Because still limited, maybe not as limited as the 10,000 pairs. We've seen a little bit of a higher number thrown out there, maybe 23,000. Beloved, that still doesn't really give you a chance to get the shoe. Like it doesn't. For the people that you're physically in the cities where these 23 shops are located and you have an opportunity to get them, I am so genuine when I say I am wishing you the best of luck to be able to get this. If you're a collector, if you are one of those diehard people, like you care about every little nuance of the shoe and you just want this to be able to have and to hold and to really enjoy, I want that for you. I just live in a reality where you got to be real with yourself. Like it may not happen. And I do hate that. Some of you want access because you're like, if someone is willing to pay $1,000 for this shoe, after I only paid $250 for it plus tax, that's a come up because there are other things that you may need or want to do with that money. And I can't be mad at you about that whatsoever. I can't speak for other people, but I can't be mad at you about that. So as we lead up to February 14th, we'll see how many real people, what I consider real consumers, get their hands on this shoe. Now, in terms of the rollout, I've seen everyone's comments because listen, I scroll. I do. I've seen everyone's comments. A lot of you are thinking, why is Jordan Brand doing the most for a shoe that 99.9% of us, in the grand scheme of things, really won't be able to touch? Good question. It's a great question. Because we've seen everything going down on campus. If you're wearing Jordan 1s on campus, you are receiving a citation. I think that is great. That's a cute moment, right? It's kind of cheeky, marketing, we get it. That's going to hit home for those that are like on campus and within the brand. You're probably going to anger people with these theatrics that don't really have a chance to get the shoe. Like, I think this would be different if a lot of this was going on surrounding other sneakers. If this was going on, let's say around, I don't know, like let's just say a Space Jam, for example, right? If, whenever, because I feel like they're just eventually going to have to do it. Whenever they eventually, let's say, bring back Space Jam 11 and you have all of these theatrics going on and there's so much marketing behind it, but we know how they flood the market with Air Jordan 11s, I think consumers will be a lot more receptive to it because it's like, that's great, but what does this do for me? Like it's a cool moment for people to engage with on social media and to have a laugh at, but at the end of the day, it's still about, do you even have a realistic chance of getting the shoe? And the fact that a lot of consumers don't, it has turned them off. Now, this is why I think what Jordan Brand is doing just in terms of the marketing right now, it's a timing thing that I think has led to people being super frustrated. Okay, so let me explain. The white glove service, one that is going to be offered at these stores, at the locations that have these shoes, that's what we heard, right? They want a white glove experience for people that are attending, that are shopping for this shoe. And I understand, like, you've gone above and beyond to completely structure and create this shoe as close to what it was in, 1985. 100% get that. Do you understand, though, that let's say from 2020 leading up to right now, let's just say through the end of 2024, your very loyal, long-time faithful customers, they weren't asking you for white glove service. They weren't asking for a white glove experience. They were simply asking, can I just have the ability to purchase a shoe that I want? That's it. That was it. That was all that consumers were asking for the last 4 years, right? And you didn't really get that. Now, we understand that Nike put out, I'll say Nike, but okay, Jordan, there was, statements put out that they understood, bots. And if you go on Sneakers app and you see them like the screen and they're trying to remove the bot. So efforts were taken, but part of it feels like a little too late, right? Like too little too late for a lot of consumers, not for all, because a lot of you are still so dead set on trying to get this pair. And let's be clear, this pair may be the frustration or the last straw for you, but not in terms of you going after other sneakers that will not be as difficult as this to get. But for this one here, I think it's a culmination of everything over the last 4 years and the frustration that you've dealt with. And now we lead up to the sneaker that you may have wanted. Like this was the only thing you wanted. And now they want to come and roll out the red carpet for all of the marketing. And you're like, I didn't ask for all of this. I just wanted access to shoes for so long. And now the one shoe that I wanted, I can't get. You couldn't even meet my very basic demands in 4 years. So I get why a lot of people are upset, right? And I know this is just my personal thought in terms of some people not being quite happy with the fact that they're going to have the invite only, right? And you are going to have influencers attend very exclusive events. That is just the world we live in now. I know everybody doesn't like it, but it is the world that we live in. Is that an amazing experience and opportunity for those invited? Yes. And I would just challenge you, put yourself in that person's shoes. You would love to be invited to something like this, right? Especially if you're someone that you want the shoe. You would love to be invited to something like this. So if you ever feel like that little feeling of must be nice creep up into your spirit, I get it. But just breathe and take a step back and really ask yourself the question, if I were in this position, would I want somebody else to say like, oh, must be nice? Probably not, because if you had to be real, you'd be like, of course it's nice. It's amazing. It's going to feel like a once in a lifetime opportunity if you are passionate and you are into sneakers. So I am excited for those that are attending. Listen, I get that people are like, I don't even need all that. I just want the shoes. And that's out of your power. That's out of your control. So I do just hope, for the people that want it, I'm going to say, I hope you get it, but like, I know that you won't. But this is where I think like a lot of the frustration is stemming from. Based on the last 4 years, it's like a little too late. Now the red carpet is being rolled out. And here's the thing. I've also seen people question, did you need to do all of this for a shoe that would sell out no matter what? And I think that's a very fair question, because I don't think this shoe would have struggled for the fact that they have it so limited and based on the price point. Now, if they flooded the market with pairs, if it could sit, yeah, it possibly would have. And then you would have had everybody clowning the shoe for it sitting, because you guys do that for every OG. So I understand people questioning that. I think, personally, the rollout needs to be for whatever that Jordan 40 is going to be. Because sneakerheads in general, or I should say Jordan heads, you guys do not give grace, right, to Jordan brand branching out and really trying to innovate and try something different. Like, a lot of times, Jordan brand, I feel like they're pigeonholed because consumers are choosing to put them in the box of, I just want the OGs and I don't want anything different. And so even when they've tried to branch out, whether it was the Jordan MA2, whether it could have been the Jordan 1 Zoom Comfort, people were so against it that they didn't even give it a chance to live, thrive, and create like a life of its own within the product lines that they offer. I'm not a fan of that. I like the fact that companies have to try to innovate. They really do. So as a consumer, I would just say try to keep an open mind, truly, because we get on Nike for being stagnant. Right now, Nike, I think, has a winner with this, the Pegasus Premium. I think that shoe looks amazing. I do. For men, I know that it's sold out. For women, it's actually still available on Nike right now, or at least it was in a lot of sizes when I looked prior to this weekend. But I think Nike is understanding, especially with Elliot Hill there, we got to put, literally belt to ass when it comes to innovating. Like, we have to get back to what we were and who we were. And so Jordan brand has to actually step into that. They were the innovators in the 80s and the 90s. They're not right now. And so I hope that this marketing effort continues for the Jordan 40. And I think that is where a lot of their their energy will need to be put to try to usher in like longtime Jordan heads into giving, you know, everything new a chance. Now, something that is new that's coming out for Nike within Black History Month, a Nike SB Dunk Low. And they're not just doing the lazy low-hanging fruit, let's just get something that's black, green, and red and throw it on a sneaker. They're not doing that. They are honoring black cowboys within, you know, Western history and the culture within the US. I love it. It looks amazing. First off, the color is captivating, so I love that. I am questioning why did it take 10 years for us to finally see like something again on a Nike SB Dunk Low, and I'm only saying that because the SB team is known for having these great stories that are told and really executed on the shoe. What better, I guess, moment other than Black History Month every year? Could you not think to just let the SB team do what they do? Nonetheless, we always give flowers and credit to Nike SB because they understand how to tell stories and bring it to life, and it's usually with everything from the box to the actual execution on the shoe. So I'm happy to see what Nike has done. I believe it's at a price point of $135. So when we say we want something different, we want something new, this is it, Nike. So continue on this path, the same thing of what you're doing with the Pegasus Premium. Continue on this path. I think that's amazing. I think that's exactly what's needed. So please, one, comment your thoughts below on if you think the marketing done, you know, in terms of the fatigue that I mentioned, do you think it has to do with the last 4 years? Do you think if this same marketing push is put, you know, into a Jordan 40 because their later models have been very performance focused, do you think people will care as much? Share your thoughts on that. I'm also curious to know your thoughts on the Nike SB Dunk Low for Black History Month, the Pegasus Premium. If you're anyone that's actually into Nike in terms of their tech, are you interested in getting this as a runner? I think it looks great also as a lifestyle shoe. Now, at $210, I understand that may not be the price point that you like, but I will also challenge this. I can respect that price point. Like, I can respect the price point on a New Balance at that, because you know what? At least brand new innovative tech is in it, okay? I struggle if it's like at $200 with older tech versus $200 with newer tech, possibly stacked tech that we haven't seen, that is going to offer a lot to you as this consumer in terms of value and functionality and comfort and what it's meant to do, all right? So I really appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Please be sure to check out my recent one, because I went ahead and shared that just because you don't see people spending $200 all the time on retros, it doesn't mean the money isn't being spent. It certainly is. So go ahead, watch that video. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.